Tony D and Little Joan, and this is a screenwriter's rant on Best Christmas Ever, starring Heather Graham, Jason Biggs, and I forget this woman's name. And anyhow, smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books, links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 13, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. I'm not a huge fan of Christmas movies. I like some of them. I like the classics. I don't think this is a classic. It's not the most unwatchable thing. The premise is Heather Graham thinks her life kind of sucks, and her friend kind of has the perfect life. That's her. I forget the actress's name. So she's jealous, and she decides to stick it to her by showing up unannounced at her house. She doesn't believe her life is Brandy Norwood, that's her name. Doesn't believe her life is that perfect, and this is her perfect husband, and she has a perfect house and children who are smart, and I don't know, Heather Graham's just kind of a jerk who's her friend from high school or something. So she shows up to prove her friend isn't that great. Story by Todd Calgi Gallicano. Screenplay by Todd Calgi Gallicano and Charles Shire, directed by Mary Lambert. Feels kind of like a hotel movie, November 16th. It's sort of like a comedy. It could be a comedy. Like if you played it big and had some really funny actors in it. No shade thrown to Heather Graham, but she's not exactly a comedian, and she's kind of the lead in this, so she would need to go very big. Brandy Norwood's okay, but she would need to go big too, right? Like be not just awesome, but be so beyond awesome she's annoying. Jason Biggs, it looks like he's let his foot off the pedal and just sort of collecting a paycheck here. I mean, what is this? Is this a comedy for people who I don't like laughing too hard? Make sure the laughs don't rise above a mild chuckle. That's what it kind of feels like. I know, Joan wants to get down. She doesn't even want to see the trailer. Better let her go. All right. So, so first act, I don't know. Heather Graham is so upset with her life, she decides to go visit her friend unannounced because she gets Christmas cards from her every year, and decides she couldn't possibly have that good of a life, and shows up unannounced, so they'll be forced to be invited in and stay, and it works. It's weird. You can see her house. It's fine, I guess. This is her husband, her perfect husband, and kids can play chess and beat Heather Graham. Heather Graham doesn't exactly exude someone who could beat chess, but okay. And then, I don't know, some scenes of them buying. The second act is them staying and Heather Graham being continually jealous. Now, she can act, but I just don't think she's, really the right person for this role. I mean, what is going on with the Christmas movies? Like, if you put, I don't know, Catherine O'Hara in this role. And she's a little old to be for this character, but, she'd knock it out of the park. I mean, even Kristen Wiig. Kristen Wiig would be right for this role. I think she'd do okay. I don't think she's particularly funny. Kate McKinnon, she could do this, but it would be bigger. If either of those guys did it, it would be big. Any female comic could probably, even Amy Schumer would be slightly better at this than Heather Graham. Just because they'd be thinking in terms of the comedy. I think Heather Graham's just playing it straight, and it's kind of boring, in my view. Jason Biggs just kind of being Jason Biggs. I mean, needs to be bigger laughs in this. Or not. I mean, if you wanted to run in hotels for the next 70 years, I guess it could do that. I just don't really see a reason to see this movie. Brandy Norwood is is that Brandy? Was she also the singer Brandy? Was she in that sitcom? I don't remember. But again, even her, she's all right. But you know, you want somebody who's like gonna go crazy with this role, like be so perfect she's annoyingly perfect. So like the person who's annoyed at him, the other lead will be, you kind of almost understand why there's kind of a resentment there. I'm trying to think who would be like Margot Robbie, right? Margot Robbie's so insanely hot. If she pushed it, and like even Heather Graham would have been better in this role, right? As the perfect woman that the I don't know, the blue collar housewife is annoyed at. I don't know. The other problem with this generally in Hollywood is Hollywood goes back to the nuclear family for Christmas movie after spending all year saying, the nuclear family, who does that? A bunch of weirdos. And then suddenly it's Christmas. It's like, oh, the nuclear family. Yeah, everybody go home. Like, so, you're kind of undermining your own product in the long term here. And it doesn't seem like a real situation. Like, a woman gets mad at her friend and then decides to show up unannounced and then do a bunch of wacky stuff in her home. I really don't think that's a realistic thing. But there is a nice moment in this, I'll say. In the third act, when Heather has been so obnoxious she gets called out for sneaking around her house, Brandy forgives her and says, no, we're still friends, and I want you to have a good Christmas. And then she shows her how to have a good Christmas. So it's kind of a positive ending. I kind of like that. So, I mean, it's not my kind of movie, but I kind of like that ending. Kind of positive and wholesome. So, best Christmas ever. I'd watch this before I watched the other Christmas movie I just looked at with Ludacris. That just looks painful and cringy to watch as they attempt to be funny. This one at least has a plot that kind of makes sense. It's I don't really get the whole arriving unannounced, but the friction between the friends, two women, go figure. I can kind of see that, and I like the forgiveness aspect of it. So I just wish they had played it more for less. If they had played it bigger, I think it would have worked better. I don't really like the title either. Best Christmas ever. Seems like a girl's title. I don't know. I don't know, ladies. What do you think? Anyhow, that's it for me. Tony D and Little Joan barking in the house somewhere. These are Christmas movies now. I prefer The Grinch and Heat Miser and Cold Miser myself. Look those up sometime. Anyhow, I gotta wrap it here. I will be at the 13th Child Brewery tomorrow at 5 p.m. for my talk on how to hunt the Jersey Devil. And then late that night, I'll be doing a live stream at 9. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you